Welcome back to Hidden US Coins, the channel where every coin tells a story, and every story could unlock a hidden treasure that changes your life forever. Today you are stepping into a world that only true collectors and fortune seekers know about. World where a single piece of silver, worn by time, can be worth more than a lifetime of hard work. These are not just coins. These are treasures. These are keys to wealth, history, and legacy. Some of the coins I'm about to show you today are so rare, so breathtaking, and so powerful in value that if you happen to hold one in your hand, it's no less than holding a fortune chest of silver and gold. Now listen closely. In today's video, we're not just talking about a couple of collectible pieces. We are talking about 6 extraordinary standing Liberty quarters, each one carrying within it a story of America, of rarity, of timeless silver, and most importantly, of life-changing value. First coin number 1. Our first stop on this treasure hunt takes us back nearly a century to the year 1926. Imagine America in the roaring 20s, jazz filling the streets, Model T Fords on the roads, and the spirit of freedom in every corner. And right in that golden era, the United States Mint struck a piece of silver that today stands as one of the most desirable treasures for collectors worldwide, the standing Liberty quarter with the D Mint mark, struck in Denver. This coin is not just a piece of silver, it's a symbol of liberty herself, standing tall with strength, courage, and pride. Lady Liberty is depicted holding a shield of protection in one hand and an olive branch of peace in the other. Message that America stood ready for peace but would defend freedom at all costs. The design alone makes this coin a masterpiece of art, but what makes it truly captivating is its short-lived era. The standing Liberty quarter was only minted from 1916 to 1930, just 14 short years. And within those years, certain mintages, like the 1926 with D, became incredibly scarce. This particular Denver strike carries all the beauty of 90% silver composition and all the elegance of fine American engraving. But finding it in extra fine condition, with a silver shine that still dazzles after almost 100 years? That's where rarity turns into treasure. Collectors know that coins like these don't simply come by chance. They are fought for at auctions, cherished in vaults, and passed down as heirlooms. And here's what makes this standing Liberty quarter truly extraordinary: its scarcity in high-grade conditions. Most surviving examples are worn down from circulation, but this one, described as extra fine with brilliant silver shine, belongs to a class so elite that its value rises every single year. And speaking of value, here is where your heart should race. Because the current market value of this 1,926 with D standing Liberty quarter in extra fine condition is a jaw-dropping $188,000. Yes, you heard me right. $188,000. That's not a small gain, not just a collector's delight. That is the kind of number that makes your jaw drop. The kind of treasure that makes you realize you could be sitting on a hidden fortune without even knowing it. And remember, this isn't fiction. This isn't a fantasy. The price of rare coins like this is increasing every single day. It's a living, breathing treasure market, and if you ever come across a coin like this, you are literally holding wealth, history, and legacy in the palm of your hand. So, what does this mean for collectors? Here's the golden tip. If you ever find a standing Liberty quarter, especially with that tiny D mint mark under the eagle on the reverse, examine it carefully. Look at its condition. Because even the smallest difference in wear can mean the difference between a simple keepsake and a life-changing windfall. And here's my final word on this first treasure. Treat every coin with respect, especially the standing Liberty quarter. Because what may look like an ordinary piece of silver to the untrained eye is, in truth, gateway to fortune. A piece of America's past that is not just preserved but rewarded with a market value that's nothing less than stunning. Next coin, number 2. Now, my friends, let's rewind the clock even further back to the year 1918. America was in the final stretch of World War I. The nation was proud, weary, but standing tall. In those uncertain days, the U.S. Mint released a silver coin that would soon become one of the most iconic treasures of the early 20th century. The standing Liberty quarter of 1918 struck in Philadelphia without any mint mark. This coin is breathtaking not just for its silver composition, but for its deep symbolism. Once again, Liberty takes center stage, guarding the nation with her shield while extending the olive branch of peace. Her stance is bold, her message timeless. America would protect freedom, but always yearn for peace. The artistry on this coin is among the most admired in U.S. history, and it's easy to see why collectors fall in love with it instantly. But here's what makes the 1918 Standing Liberty Quarter without a mint mark stand apart: its historic moment in time. This was the first Standing Liberty Quarter struck after the nation's direct involvement in World War I. Every piece of silver from this year echoes with the spirit of country that had just proven its strength on the world stage. Holding this coin is like holding a slice of American resilience and pride. Now, let's talk about its appearance. This particular coin, described with gray waves and silver shade, in fine condition, is a showstopper. The soft gray toning tells the story of its journey through time, while that underlying silver shine reminds us of its enduring beauty. Unlike common pocket change, this coin carries centuries' worth of history on its surface. Every line, every shade, every glimmer has a story. Collectors know. The 1918 Standing Liberty Quarter is not something you stumble across every day. While millions were struck in Philadelphia, only a tiny fraction survived in fine, collectible condition. And when you remove the worn, damaged, or heavily circulated examples, what's left is a rarity that sets auctions on fire. And here's the suspenseful truth that keeps collectors on edge. The Philadelphia mint mark absence makes this coin one of the most widely sought after, because it represents the heart of America's minting tradition. Without the D or S, you are looking at a pure Philadelphia strike, the mother mint, the birthplace of America's coinage legacy. Now, brace yourself. Because the current market value of the 1918 Standing Liberty Quarter without a mint mark, in fine condition, stands at an astonishing $192,000. Yes, $192,000. Imagine that coin that once bought you a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk is today worth enough to change your financial destiny. And this is not hype. This is not exaggeration. This is the living reality of rare coins in today's auction market. Prices are climbing higher each year. Collectors are fighting tooth and nail to secure these pieces because they know this is big treasure, not just a collectible. This is wealth wrapped in silver, preserved in history, and growing in value day after day. For the collector out there listening right now, here's my personal advice. Never underestimate the Standing Liberty Quarters of the World War I era. If you find a 1918 example, examine it with care. Look at its detail, its condition, its tone. Because every subtle difference can push its value into the stratosphere. Even in lower grades, this coin is respected, but in fine condition, like the one I'm describing today, it's nothing less than a jackpot. And the conclusion here is powerful. The 1918 Standing Liberty Quarter without a mint mark is not just a coin. It's monument in miniature. It's a relic of American strength and survival. And in the eyes of collectors and investors, it's a treasure chest of value that keeps growing year after year. Remember this when you tune into Hidden U.S. Coins, you're not just watching videos. You're joining a faithful community of treasure hunters, of collectors, of people who believe in the magic and the power of America's coinage. Next, coin number 3. My friends, our treasure hunt takes us into the dawn of a new decade, the Roaring '20s. Picture America in 1920. The Great War had ended. The country was stepping into an age of jazz, motion pictures, and a fresh wave of energy that would change the world forever. And in that very year, the U.S. Mint gave birth to a coin that today commands both awe and fortune. The 1920 Standing Liberty Quarter, struck in Philadelphia with no mint mark. At first glance, some may see just silver. But to the trained eye, this coin is nothing short of a masterpiece. Once again, we are graced with Lady Liberty herself, standing proud, guarding our nation with her shield and extending the olive branch of peace. Every line of her gown, every detail of her shield, and every wave on the coin's surface is a reflection of artistry that no modern coin can replicate. The Philadelphia strike without mint mark holds a special place in the collector's world. It is the coin of the nation's capital, the very heart of American minting tradition. When you hold this piece, you are holding a direct echo of 1920 America, country filled with optimism, ambition, and a desire to push forward into a new era. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin's condition. The one I'm describing today is in very fine condition, circulated yet breathtaking, with that distinctive balance of wear and beauty that only a century-old silver coin can carry. The surface reveals soft details smoothed by history, yet enough sharpness remains to showcase its elegance. The silver radiance shines through, whispering stories of every hand it passed through, every decade it survived, every vault it might have rested in. Why is the 1920 Standing Liberty Quarter so rare and so demanded? The answer lies in its survival rate. Many were struck, yes, but far fewer endured in collectible condition. Heavy circulation wore down the majority, leaving behind only a precious handful that collectors would fight endlessly to possess. And when one is found in very fine condition, the world of numismatics takes notice. Think about this. These quarters were once pocket change, spent at movie theaters, diners, and corner stores. But today, those same pieces are no longer small silver discs of commerce. They are recognized treasures, auction prizes, and wealth-building artifacts. And now, here is the revelation you've been waiting for. The current market value of the 1920 Standing Liberty Quarter without a mint mark, in very fine condition, is an astounding $178,000. $178,000. That is not just a price. That is treasure measured in numbers. That is the kind of fortune that elevates this coin from collectible status into the realm of legend. And don't forget, this is not fantasy. The market for Standing Liberty Quarters continues to climb higher and higher. The demand is unshakable. Collectors know how rare these are. Investors know how strong the value is. This coin is not just wealth today, it's wealth that multiplies tomorrow. It is, without question, a treasure chest in silver form. For collectors and treasure seekers, here is my trusted advice. Whenever you come across a Standing Liberty Quarter dated 1920, stop and study it. Look for that missing mint mark, because no mint mark means Philadelphia. Look at the sharpness of the details. Study its silver tone. Because the difference between ordinary and extraordinary can mean the difference between a keepsake and a life-changing fortune. And here's the conclusion to coin number 3. This 1920 Standing Liberty Quarter is not just silver. It's not just metal. It's living story of America's roaring 20s, captured forever in shining detail. And it stands today as a reminder that hidden treasures are not found in pirate ships or buried chests, but in the coins that rest quietly in our collections, waiting to reveal their true worth. Next coin, number 4. We journey deeper into the heart of numismatic treasures to the year 1924. The nation was still dancing to the rhythms of the Roaring Twenties, and the United States Mint, with all its artistry and precision, struck one of the most admired silver quarters of its era. Today, we're focusing on one of the rarest treasures of that time, the 1924 Standing Liberty Quarter, struck in San Francisco, carrying the proud S mint mark. The Standing Liberty series is already legendary, but when you add the San Francisco S to the equation, you elevate the coin into an entirely new realm of rarity. The West Coast Mint had far lower outputs compared to Philadelphia, and every San Francisco strike is cherished as a regional jewel, fewer made, fewer survived, and even fewer in collectible condition today. Now, let's talk about its artistry. Once again, Liberty herself takes center stage, figure of elegance and resilience. She stands in flowing robes, her shield of protection in one hand and the olive branch of peace in the other. It's not just design, it's message engraved in silver, strength, peace, and freedom. And every time you gaze at this coin, you see that message carried forward through a century of American history. But what makes this 1924 with S even more stunning is the condition. The coin we're speaking about today is in extra fine condition with a silver luster that still glows after nearly 100 years. Imagine that coin struck on the Pacific coast during the Jazz Age, still shining today as though it were struck yesterday. The details on Liberty's gown, the crispness of her shield, the delicate lines of the eagle soaring on the reverse, these are the markers of true treasure. Collectors know the story all too well. San Francisco mintages are notoriously tough to find in higher grades. Most of the coins circulated heavily, serving their duty in commerce, wearing down until their beauty was nearly lost. But an extra fine example preserved through the decades is the stuff of legend. And when such a coin enters an auction, it doesn't just sell, it ignites bidding wars. And now, the suspense you've been waiting for. The current market value of the 1,924 Standing Liberty Quarter with the S mint mark in extra fine condition is a staggering $162,000. $162,000. That's not just a price tag. That's a declaration that you are holding a true treasure chest in your hand. And let me tell you, this value isn't static. It's not frozen in time. The market for rare Standing Liberty Quarters is alive. It is growing, and it is hungrier than ever. Each year, collectors are willing to pay more, investors are diving deeper, and auction houses are seeing numbers rise. If you think $162,000 is the ceiling, think again. This is wealth that continues to expand, a fortune that only grows with time. So what does this mean for collectors? It means opportunity. If you are ever lucky enough to encounter a 1,924 with S, study it carefully. Look for that proud little S mint mark tucked on the reverse, confirming its San Francisco origin. Appreciate the shine, admire the details, and if the condition is extra fine or better, you may very well be holding a life-changing artifact. Here's my conclusion on this remarkable coin. The 1924 with S Standing Liberty Quarter is not just a product of its time. It is a masterpiece of American coinage, West Coast treasure, and a piece of history that carries both pride and profit. Every collector dreams of owning one. And those who do are not just coin owners, they are guardians of a silver legacy worth far more than its weight in metal. Next, coin number 5. As we move deeper into our journey through America's hidden treasures, we arrive at a year of transition, 1929. But before that change, the United States Mint in Denver gave us one last silver masterpiece. The 1929 Standing Liberty Quarter with the D mint mark. This coin is a farewell to an age of artistry in American coinage. For 13 short years, the Standing Liberty design captured the imagination of the nation. But in 1929, on the edge of the Great Depression, this proud design had its last stand. And among those final strikes, the Denver Mint produced a treasure that today is considered one of the most sought-after keys to the series. The design remains unforgettable. Lady Liberty standing tall, holding her shield of defense and her branch of peace, while on the reverse, an eagle soars boldly across the silver canvas. It is not just a coin, it is a portrait of American ideals, frozen in time and never to be minted again. Now let's look at the coin itself. This example is described as silver, beautiful in appearance, in fine condition. Its surfaces still carry that unmistakable radiance, even after nearly a century. The details may show light wear from its time in circulation, but that wear itself is history proof that this piece served its role in commerce before becoming the treasure we recognize it as today. And what about its rarity? The 1929 with D is not just another Standing Liberty Quarter. As the Denver Mint struck fewer coins than Philadelphia, every surviving piece with a crisp D mint mark holds a place of honor in the collector's market. Finding one in fine condition with beauty intact and detail preserved is no small feat. It's the kind of coin that makes seasoned collectors' eyes widen and their hearts race. Now comes the moment of truth, the revelation of its value. The current market value of the 1929 Standing Liberty Quarter with D mint mark in fine condition is an incredible $157,000. $157,000. Think about that. A silver quarter, struck at the end of an era, now stands tall as a six-figure fortune in today's auction world. And don't forget, this value is not the end of the story. Because the demand for rare Standing Liberty Quarters is climbing every single year. The market is alive, fierce, and unstoppable. The 1929 with D is not just rare, it's treasure in motion, fortune that appreciates over time. If you are lucky enough to hold one, you are not just collector, you are the guardian of a silver legacy whose price grows with each passing year. So what's the collector's tip here? Always check the date and the mint mark carefully. A 1929 Standing Liberty Quarter without mint mark is valuable, yes, but that tiny D on the reverse is what transforms this piece into a legend. Condition matters, preservation matters, and authenticity matters. If you have one, protect it. If you find one, treasure it. Because the 1929 with D is once-in-lifetime discovery. And here's my final word on this coin. The 1929 with D is not just the end of the Standing Liberty series, it is the grand finale. It represents the closing of an artistic era, a farewell that collectors and historians alike cherish with pride. And with its towering value in today's market, it proves that the end of one chapter can mark the beginning of another chapter of treasure, fortune, and undeniable legacy. Next coin, number 6. And now, my friends, we arrive at the grand finale of today's treasure hunt coin that shines with history, radiates with beauty, and seals our journey with a thunderous impact. From the year 1927, struck in Philadelphia without mint mark, comes one of the most sought-after jewels of the entire Standing Liberty series, the 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter. By 1927, America was in the late years of the Roaring Twenties. Prosperity filled this nation, skyscrapers reached into the sky, and jazz clubs played into the night. Yet even in this era of confidence and extravagance, the U.S. Mint quietly released coin that would become one of the most enduring treasures of all time. The design is familiar, but never loses its magic. Lady Liberty, bold and elegant, standing tall at the gateway of freedom. With her shield raised in defense and her olive branch of peace extended, she represents the very soul of America's strength with grace, protection with peace. And on the reverse, the eagle soars across the silver surface, wings stretched wide, reminding us of the country's unyielding spirit. But let's look at the coin in front of us. This example, described as having a gray shade and beautiful look in fine condition, is breathtaking. The natural toning tells a story of survival, century-long journey from hand to hand, drawer to drawer, vault to vault. Its beauty remains intact, its details clear, its presence commanding. This is not just coin, it's survivor, testament to time itself. Now, why is the 1927 with no mint Standing Liberty Quarter so important? Because Philadelphia struck these coins in high numbers, but heavy circulation wore most of them down to shadows of their former selves. Very few have survived in collectible condition, and even fewer in state as beautiful as this. Every remaining example becomes rarer as time passes, because collectors lock them away in private collections, never to return to the open market. And here comes the revelation you've been waiting for. The current market value of the 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter without mint mark, in fine condition, is a jaw-dropping $152,000. $152,000. Yes, that's the kind of number that makes the heart race. The kind of fortune that proves once again that these coins are nothing less than a hidden treasure chest of silver wealth. And let me remind you, this is not a fairy tale. This is real. This is today's auction market, and the price of treasures like the 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter continues to climb with every passing year. If you are lucky enough to hold one, you are sitting on fortune that grows stronger day by day. It is not just money. It is history, beauty, rarity, and power, all condensed into one dazzling piece of silver. So what does this mean for collectors? It means vigilance, knowledge, and appreciation. Always examine your Standing Liberty Quarters. Check the date carefully, look for the absence of a mint mark, and study the condition. Because hidden among the ordinary, you may discover the extraordinary coin worth more than treasure, coin worth more than time itself. And now, my final conclusion for today's journey. The 1927 Standing Liberty Quarter without mint mark is not just a coin. It's closing chapter of our story today. Symbol of fortune that proves rare coins are among the greatest treasures you could ever hold. With its immense value, timeless beauty, and ever-rising demand, this coin reminds us that in the world of numismatics, treasure is real, and it may be closer than you think, boys. And so, dear viewers, that brings us to the end of today's adventure into 6 ultra-rare, breathtaking Standing Liberty Quarters. Each coin a masterpiece. Each coin fortune. Each coin a piece of America's legacy. Remember, here on Hidden U.S. Coins, you are always in the right place for fresh, faithful, and powerful updates on treasures that most people walk past without ever realizing their worth. Subscribe, stay connected, and join me again as we continue unlocking the secrets of America's hidden wealth. Until then, keep your eyes open, because the next coin you discover might just be the fortune of a lifetime.